This is KOAA News 5 at 10.
And good evening, everyone, and thanks for watching News 5 at 10. I'm Rob Port.
I'm Diane Derby. This is New Tonight at 10, loosening government restrictions on marijuana. That is what the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is pushing for in a new letter to the Drug Enforcement Administration.
Now, the recommendation is to reclassify marijuana as a lower-risk drug. Our Maggie Bryan in studio tonight to break down what this means and how it could affect local dispensaries. Maggie?
Yeah, Rob and Diane, the recommendation is to move marijuana down from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3 drug. I talked with a local dispensary who says this could help them out financially, but others say it's a step in the wrong direction.
Can I see the blue green?
Absolutely. Pure Medical, a dispensary in Colorado Springs, has been selling medical marijuana since 2009. Its manager is in favor of legalizing it federally.
We could do great things within the industry.
She says a recent recommendation by the Federal Health and Human Services Agency to reclassify marijuana as a lower risk drug could be a step in that direction.
It does not have the potential to cause bodily harm the way that heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, these other drugs tend to do.
Right now, marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug, along with other drugs like heroin and LSD. Below that are drugs like fentanyl, cocaine, and meth. The reclassification would bring marijuana down to a Schedule 3 drug, alongside ketamine, some steroids, and Tylenol with codeine. Drugs are classified by their potential for abuse, if they can be used medically, and how addictive they are.
To purport that cannabis is more physically addicting and causes more bodily harm than fentanyl is ignorant at best and irresponsible at worst.
The shop manager says reclassifying the drug could mean equal financial benefits for dispensaries.
By making it a Schedule 3, cannabis businesses will now be able to deduct regular business expenses like every other small business in this country can do. For instance, the rent on this store, the payroll to pay the people that work here, the utilities to keep the lights on.
She says her shop is paying a tax rate of around 75%, but others, like Colorado Springs Council member Dave Donaldson, say reclassifying marijuana could lead to legalizing it, which he says is not a good idea.
I think it's a bad day for our country if that happens. We're just putting more temptations, more harms in their way. We're not doing things to help our citizens. Our government is now doing things to harm our citizens.
Right now in the U.S., 40 states have legalized either recreational or medicinal marijuana. While a reclassification would not legalize marijuana, the shop manager says it would bring the drug down to a more appropriate schedule. And now it is up to the DEA to conduct its own review. There is no set timeline on how long that will take. Of course, we will continue to follow this for you. Diane.
Maggie Bryan, thank you. Let's take a deeper look now into marijuana's history in the state of Colorado.
Cannabis was actually legal throughout the U.S. in the 1800s. It was mainly used for medicinal purposes. That's according to the National Library of Medicine. As for Colorado, in 1917, the legislature passed a law that made planting and harvesting marijuana a misdemeanor. In 1929, Colorado made it a felony to sell, possess, or distribute it. Things started to shift over the next 50 years. In 1975, Colorado decriminalized marijuana. Still had to pay a fine if you got caught with the drug. Then in 2012, recreational marijuana legalized for people 21 years of age and older. 2014, retail stores could begin to sell recreational pot. Since then, millions of dollars of revenue has also been generated.
According to the Colorado Department of Revenue, more than $14.7 billion has been generated through marijuana sales. Just this year, more than $780 million. That has generated $2.5 billion in tax revenue. According to a study done by Leafly Jobs, more than 35,000 people are employed in Colorado's marijuana industry.